Hey everybody, this is Joe Farmer 123 coming to you with the pickups over the last few months. I know I haven't made a video probably since June. It's now May, so it's been about a year. A lot's been going on. I've been getting little piles here and there. This video might be a little long. I appreciate y'all if you do stick around to the end. Like I try to do at the beginning of every video, I like to say what's going on with my mental health a little bit, and then uh, hope that maybe in some way it helps somebody else. And that. So last June, at the end of June, uh, one of my cousins, who was a year older than me, he died suddenly, at 38. He hadn't even turned 39 yet. And he had no underlying health issues and all that. And it kind of hit home a little bit. It definitely blindsides you a little bit. All life is precious at the end of the day. Um, but yeah, that happened, and then you figure that's June. August came around. We went on our family trip to Chicago. I picked up a bunch of stuff there. A lot of this stuff is going to be out of order when I show it to y'all, but going to Chicago was nice. My aunt came with. Obviously, she had just retired last year, and obviously, her being around my mom, while we were on vacation, I think helped her out a lot. Uh, Obviously, retiring the same week that my cousin died, ironically, unfortunately. Um, I I truly hope my cousin is up there with my grandparents and that, just living it up. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is there. Um, and then November came around, and I really hadn't talked with my friend Joe in a while. Um, he had kind of been distant and that for a number of years, but I knew him since middle school. He was a grade older than me, seventh grade. I was in sixth grade when I went to the school I went to, anyways. Joe basically died of, if I remember right, cardiac arrest. Pretty much he had health issues and a lot of other things, and ultimately, when it's your time, it's your time. Fast forward to January. December wasn't too bad. Um, so fast forward to January, and my aunt passed away. My aunt Vicky passed away. Um, she had health issues. Basically, it really hadn't been the same since my uncle died back in, I want to say, 16, 17, somewhere's in there. I was kind of close with my uncle. I regret never learning guitar lessons from him, this and that, but my aunt died suddenly, and like my brother, basically. He's my cousin, but he's my brother. He's 2 months older than me. He was born February. I was born April. Anyways, I'm helping him go through stuff and this and that. A lot of stuff of his, even toys I ain't seen since we were kids, that his parents still hung on to, like old wrestling figures. Like he had a Hulk Hogan figure with the pull string in the back. He used to get mad at me for pulling all the time, but fast forward from there, like I said, I ain't saying all the stuff that I've gotten here in that timeline. Um, so with that being said, February and March, they weren't too bad. Went to some sales, picked up some more stuff, bought some stuff from a buddy's store, and then April comes along. And it's roughly, I want to say, if I had to look at the date here real quick, tell you all the date real quick, it would have been April 13th. I go to my parents' house to pick up a package I got in the mail, and my two dogs that were still there, Stretch and Cookie, they're not doing too well. They've been slowly going downhill, and I've known for a while that their time was coming. Well, lo and behold, my dad gets home from work, and we make the family decision. Obviously, it's their time together. They both were blind, basically. Uh, Stretch, we figured, had dementia because he was confused a lot. Cookie, ever since we put his mama down last year, you know, he went downhill fast, and all he had left was his pops, but we made the appointment, and they get put down on April 21st. 3 days before I turned 38 years old. And the vet called on my birthday and said my dog's ashes were back. So I guess that's a positive on my birthday in a way, is that they came home on my birthday. But it's hit me really hard in a way, obviously, because I lost my best friend Sam, who was my dog. You figure 13 years, and I was 14 when he got put down. 2 days after my birthday. I went through my birthday knowing my dog was getting put down, and I couldn't understand why back then, other than I knew he had severe arthritis. I get why my dad did it now. It took many years to adjust to that, but at the end of the day, when it boiled down to it, I went through my first birthday without having a single pet in my entire life. Since the day I was born, there was always pets around, whether it was a cat, mostly dogs, and it stung a little bit. I will say it stung a little bit. I know they're at peace, and the rashes came back here. I'm making room on the shelf. I wish they would have came in 2 different boxes than what Nugget came in last year, but it is what it is. I just kind of wanted all the dogs to have their own unique box, but not much you can do about that at this point. I'm just glad they're not suffering no more. Cookie was about 15 years old. Stretch was about 16, 17. So they lived a good life, and I think I had Cookie in one of my videos at one point in time. I know my dog Bubba used to walk through in my early videos on whether I acknowledged him or not, Obviously, he got put down in 16, a few months after my nephew was born, but what I'm getting at here is no matter how many bad things happen to you, like my cousin dying, my buddy Joe dying, my aunt dying, putting both my dogs down the week of my birthday, and I got tendonitis now. It sucks. It eats me up inside some days. I will admit that. But the one thing that I will say that's one of the hardest things that took me years to swallow was they didn't get to spend the rest of their life with me. You know, for nothing. You know, uh, I got to spend the rest of my life with them, basically, you know, or vice versa, however you say that. But no, but other than that, things have been great. Been working on my buddy's race car. Here's a great year, knock on wood. Um, but yeah, no, we'll get right into this. There is quite a bit to go over here. Uh, that's an understatement at this point. So yeah, it looks like we're 11 minutes into the video here. So the first thing I'm going to get into here is a couple pickups that I got off of Marketplace here, and that I end up getting Monster Jam with Shaq. It does have the battery door on it. I picked up a complete copy of Def Jam Fight for New York, which I've been wanting to play that game again. And then I picked this up from a buddy of mine, Skyler. It's a Mortal Kombat 3 controller. Here, if I can pull it out real quick, I'll show you. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Okay. So it comes with 3 cartridges here for it. Program cartridges that go into the controller itself. Let me see here for a second. So as you can see here with the controller, it's like that. Flip it over, you put the cartridges in the back. I haven't used it yet, but I've heard some people say after you figure out how to use it, it's not that bad. It's pretty good. So can't wait to give that a try here. When I hook up, because I want to try this on my Super Nintendo kiosk and go from there. If I can help it, help to use it like that. Other than that, I think I gave around like 50 or 60 bucks for this. I could be a little wrong. I know I've been wanting to try one of these for a number of years, and I got the chance to. And then recently I got some stuff from one of my best friends, Tyler. One of the things I got was these Gotcha paintball cartridges. They are unused even though the box is open. Like, you slide it out and you go like this. You can see they're unused. I want to find the gun. I found some online. I want to find one with the original box if I can help it. I think that'd be kind of dope to put with, I believe I got a box copy of Gotcha. And then he gave me a bunch of comic books like Justy, which is, I'm guessing, an anime. What's this one? Western Tales, Terror Wizards, Indie Buzz book. Then the next one I got from him was from Free Comic Book Day, the Cell Universe. Got a cool God drawing on the back of it. Then I ended up getting a what's this one? Something 6. Kind of interesting. Then we got a Marvel Now Secret #1 Avengers. And then I got this Game Informer, which may or may not be an extra one. Happy to get those from him. I picked this up at my local consignment shop. I've been going to this shop since I was a kid. For $3 I picked up a complete copy of Salt Lake 2002 Olympics complete. Case is in pretty good shape. It does got a used sticker from, I believe, like a GameStop or something like that. And then the same day, it sucks, it was only volume 3, but I paid 50 cents for this Power Ranger book. See if I can peel the sticker off. Okay, that's good. But yeah, I mean, overall this is in pretty decent shape for its age. I mean, definitely got some creases and stuff on some of it. Pictures are still in great shape. So yeah, so I was definitely happy to get that for $3.50. And that, because Julie always seems to have something when I go there every now and then. And then I ended up going to my buddy's toy shop a little bit last year, and I picked up a couple of things. Well, obviously I'm wearing this shirt as a joke. I ended up getting this Ninja Turtle bumper sticker that's unused. In one of my next videos, I definitely got to wear this Toy Lair, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. My buddy Artie, he's cool as hell. I wouldn't ever trade him in for anything, because obviously he's been a long-time friend for a number of years now. But when I went there that day, I ended up I got a Toy Lair sticker for my toolbox or whatever I want to put it on. I got, at the time, for $20 Micro Machines, for $20 Pilot Wing 64, and then I ended up getting a box copy of Digger T-Rock and a box protector. The box does have creasing on the side. I gave $50 for that when I got it. And then the cool game that I picked up from him was Attack of the Killer Tomatoes with instruction booklet. I will be looking for a box for it, because that's one thing I would like to do, is find boxes for games that I have manuals for, or finding it CIB. If I do, then let someone else enjoy this copy. Definitely was nice to get this at his old space before he moved over to the new space not long ago. So with that being said, you know, some of the stuff that's coming up in this other pile came from his new space, which actually was next door. It was an antique shop that closed down in that. Or the lady was retiring. I'll grab a couple other little things here. And then another thing that I got from my buddy Tyler was he gave me a WWF DVD for Survivor Series. And then he gave me a VHS copy of Survivor Series, which was a WWE one, but it's got Eddie Guerrero on it, and Randy Orton, Chris Benoit, The Big Show, Rey Mysterio, Ric Flair, all them, you know, and that might have been one of the ones where Edge, I think, had almost retired around that time. And then a couple other little things. I got this one from Tyler. Guinness Book of World Records 2018. And then I got these from my buddy Timmy. A bunch of manuals that he found in his garage. Super WrestleMania on the Genesis. I actually needed this manual for a box copy that I recently got. F11 7A Stealth Fighter for the NES. I got Caesar's Palace for the NES. NES Open for the NES. Super Nintendo, you got UN Squadron. This one obviously is in a little worse shape. But it did open up. I mean, some damage. But it's a good starter manual. I got Tecmo NBA Basketball. This one I know I do not have yet. Hook. I got Pilot Wings. I believe I have this one maybe boxed and it needed a manual. I believe I may have needed this manual. Super Star Wars JVC. Obviously Super Nintendo manual. I believe I needed this manual. Mario is missing. This manual's in really rough shape. Yoshi Safari. And I love getting my hands on these, even though the cover of this one's a little bad. But Volume 2, The Ultimate Unauthorized Nintendo Game Strategy. Like for, what was this page that I looked at here? I just went by. This one looks to be tennis. So kind of cool there. That was still in pretty good shape for, you know, as old as it is. With that being said, you know, that's, I think, the last thing I got from my buddy Timmy. And then I recently got from a local auction page. I ended up winning this for, I think, what, a couple of bucks? $5. But it's a Pokemon card binder that zips up. Brand new. My buddy's wife was listed it on there, which I was surprised because he collects cards too, and if I didn't want it, he said if I didn't want it, he would just give her the $5 for it. I'm like, dude, you're married to her. Like, if you want it more than me, I said you can have it. I don't need it that badly, but at the end of the day, you know, I would have rather him use it or something like that if that came down to it. And then I ended up winning this on the auction page as well. An original Nintendo missing the door flap, which I didn't care about the system as I did the controller. I've been looking for a controller that obviously would have these on it, slide on grips, and then from what I understood, this might have been a refurbished controller or something like that with the orange, I think somebody was trying to tell me. And then I thought it was cool with this, like when you pull it off, you got that notch there. that is designed to go right around that, so that way it's nice and snug. It actually feels kind of better in your hands a little bit because you got the rounded sides here to where it fits instead of the boxy, because your fingers like curves around that just nicely. And that, so I was definitely happy to get that for a couple of bucks. I couldn't tell you what I paid for it because I ain't got a sticker on this bag. There's no, if I remember right, these were untested, no cords and that with it. And then the same one, I ended up getting a Super Nintendo. That the Super Nintendo actually came with one game, Zelda, Link to the Past. And then I gave for this one $54. It might have included that NES as well. Power cord with it. And this actually had a part yellowed shell. And I had another system that was broke that had a part yellowed shell that I switched out. I think the bottom on this one got switched out to make it look better. This I might have a home for here soon, because I have a friend looking for one with like Zelda and stuff like that, and I already have a couple TV adapters, and I think I have a spare controller. If not, I'll go pick them up one from a local shop. With that being said, yeah, I mean, I found a few deals here and there. Here's something I was happy to get my hands on, which I already had this, to where this was just the one I had. Didn't have this dust sleeve. And I thought, oh, they all had that. Well, I think the one I have actually would have came in like a collector's edition set that would have came with the statue or whatever. But it is complete. I actually got this off of a local page for free. The lady was giving it away. She's listed other stuff, and I mentioned to her if she was getting rid of anything else that I would be interested in. She's like, she gave out that vibe like, yeah, sure. Like she thought maybe I was trying to resell things or whatever. But that's not the case here. Okay, now I got a bigger box down here, but I'll show these off here. I got this given to me for, this one was given to me for my birthday from my buddy. He recently picked up Stone Cold Steve Austin, signature WWF series, and then an Undertaker Ministry of Darkness sealed WWF figure. Definitely was nice to see that. And then I ended up acquiring this when I was in Nebraska back in March. Obviously a lot of the stuff's all over the place. But this here, the battery tray inside it's broken. If anyone's made them, that'd be great. It actually had the manual, TV adapter, there's a bag inside there. But the biggest thing is it had the one styrofoam. I have a system that has the wire, TV wire. The guy I got it from years ago cut it and tried wiring up an AV cable to it. I've got an electronics guy that thinks he can fix it for me. And then all I gotta do is just get the switcher. But either way, if I can't get this one fixed, I'm gonna take the styrofoam, put it in that box, because obviously I needed the styrofoam for that one for a while now. And that, with that being said, I got this stuff while I was there as well. I usually don't get CD games very often, but I got this one mainly for the manual. Obviously this is Genesis, but The Revenge of Shinobi. Manual's in pretty good shape. I picked up Night Trap on the Sega CD. It's missing the manual. I picked up a copy of Prince of Persia, and I was told by the guy, these were his late uncles, who had passed away, that these boxed games were the early Sega CD games, which I did not know that. Here is a factory sealed Midnight Riders with clearance tag and the tag from Montgomery Wards. I might send this in to be graded just because of the Montgomery Ward sticker. I picked up a copy of Star Wars Rebel Assault. I picked up this one I thought was different, Ground Zero Texas. And the last one that I picked up at that store was WWF Rage Cage. Now, as I mentioned in a lot of my videos, I'm trying to get one of every wrestling game, CIB basically. In the store that I went to in Lincoln, was it? No, Beatrice. Beatrice was Bub and Bugs, or yeah, Bub and Bugs. So it's a little like rinky-dink shop. I would definitely recommend checking them out on Facebook, stuff like that. They do got a couple things that I thought about maybe looking at going back and trying to get my hands on. Like they had a couple little VR Trooper figures. I think one was still sealed. They had the full-size Gumby and Pokey still in the boxes. Just because I loved Gumby back in the day growing up. It was one of the things that I really got into and all that. But with that being said, next thing, I picked this up on a deal or whatever from a friend of mine. His uncle is getting rid of this. It's Wii U. There's like the charging docking station. I got the power cord for the docking station, power cord for the TV. I've got the official Nintendo licensed HDMI cable. It is, obviously I don't need to pull the system out. It is the black version. I did get a handful of games with it. I needed this actual, it's an 80 gig to go with I believe it's the Mario Kart 8 box set. And I believe these are, so 2 of these are complete, 2 of them aren't. So the first one that isn't complete is Yoshi's Woolly World. We got Star Fox Zero, which is not complete. Injustice, and Super Smash Bros. Wii U. I believe I needed all 4 of those. From what I can see over there, I can't really tell on my little shelf if I have any of these or not. I don't have a lot of Wii U games. I probably got like 10 or 15 games max. Nothing too crazy there. I did get this stuff on trade from a local friend, David, and that. And I was happy to get these from, like Iron Tank, which I had the manual for, Battletoads, which I got a manual for. And then if I move my phone there, I got the gray RIB baseball cartridge I did not have, Elevator Action that I did not have, Legendary Wings, And then going into the 64 games, All-Star Baseball 2000, the Gray Rainbow Six, F1 Pole Position 64, an upgraded copy of my Star Fox 64, San Francisco Rush, and this one, it's in a really bad shape, but I didn't have it. Bumble, Buck Bumble. Definitely, I've seen some good things about that online. Then I also got from him Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I believe it's just the case, no manual. Yep, no manual. I got the game loose. This was extra for him. I got this case from him, which was just case and manual here. And I actually have the game loose to go with it. Then I picked up a couple manuals. This one I needed for a box. Obviously Killer Instinct. An NES manual for Gauntlet, because I have the manual for Gauntlet 2. And a manual for Majora's Mask. This manual is really, really clean. I'm actually happy how clean that manual is. Because obviously finding manuals nowadays that aren't with the boxes, that are in good shape, is getting a little harder, obviously, because, well, as most of you know, a lot of us weren't really good to our manuals and stuff back then. We just tossed them around like it was no big deal, you know. And then the other thing I got from him, which I needed this system for a box, but it's missing the expansion pack door. And I got it with the cords, obviously. N64, got the gray controller. Thumbstick is pretty nice. Got a nice little ping to it. So that's always a good thing. That there was that. And then I ended up getting this as well. I may have showed this in the last video by chance. But Mortal Kombat 4, I actually had the manual for this. It was missing the manual. I had the manual for it, which worked out great. As you all can see, it kind of worked out great. That I got that. I picked this up at my local consignment shop. Metroid. I might have mentioned some of this in the last video. And then I won this on my local auction page. Guitar Hero for the DS. With that being said there, I do got, what's this one? Oh, that's already that one that I was just in. Let me grab a couple things over here. I did get in a trade from my buddy's shop. I ended up getting this right here. House of the Dead figure. It is an extra one that I really didn't need, but I got someone who was looking for one. Then I got this cool thing. It's a memory card holder that you gotta, if I remember right, how did I get this to open up? Okay. I think I gotta push down here and then pull up. Yeah. So it opens up like this. Memory card. There's even some brand new label stickers for it. Definitely never seen one of these. It looks like it holds up to 2, maybe 3 memory cards at most. Definitely a little unique thing. That's for sure. And then you go over here. And I also got these from my buddy's shop. At that point in time, I got a box copy of Captain Planet. Let that refocus a little bit. Captain Planet. I had it loose. This game I did not have yet. Golf Power. I believe this one does not have the manual. It does not. But another game that I did not have. Was very happy to get that. And then he had this priced a little higher than what it should have been, but it's in a plastic protector. It's a very minty copy of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? Or no, Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego? This actually belonged to another buddy of mine who sold off his collection, John. He was getting all kinds of pretty minty things. There's a couple dings in the side. This did come with a dictionary, if I remember right. That was kind of different. It's not something you see nowadays where they put that much effort into something like that. Ooh, we're already 41 minutes in. Okay, I'll try to hurry this next part up a little bit. One of the things that I'll show off here is I bought one of my coworkers' albums on vinyl because he actually produced his album and had them printed on vinyl. So I was lucky enough to get number 13, sale number 13 to help him out. And then, let me see here, where are these at? Okay. And then while I was on vacation, I ended up picking up these vinyls, soundtrack vinyls for Turtles in Time. And then I got Contra 3. They put them in these plastic sleeves, which I was happy to see they did that. I think I played the Ninja Turtle one already. I'm not entirely sure offhand. And then I got some stuff here before I get into the big box here. And then I might leave a couple things for the next time. I got this from that game store in Chicago, Disc Replay. I got a copy of Bram Stoker's Dracula. I got Power Rangers the movie, the shiny cardboard box for the Genesis. I got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighter for the Genesis. These are mostly Genesis games. Oh, and then I did pick up a magnet for my fridge. Courage. I've got, this one was not complete, but I've been wanting to play this one. Tiny Toon Adventures, Buster's Hidden Treasure. Most of these should have been complete. This one wasn't. This one was. I've been looking for a copy of this for years. VR Troopers. Now this one, I was kind of happy to see RoboCop 3 in the Genesis because, and I'll leave that sticker on there, but video update for a rental store. That was kind of cool. I wasn't really planning on getting any Genesis related stuff when I was there, but I seen they had some really nice box stuff along with that Bram Stoker's Dracula. That was definitely a nice addition. Then this is mostly some Super Nintendo, NES. Here's one 64 game. MRC. I haven't taken any of these stickers off yet. Oh, what's this one? Oh, International Soccer 64, which I actually needed this one because I've had the box forever. Darius Twin, which I bought that years ago for a buddy of mine who was looking for it. Then I got Hole-in-One Golf. Then the rest of these are all, the minus this one, is Royal Rumble, CIB for the Super Nintendo. But now some of these I had loose already, some I didn't. I didn't have this one. This one is complete minus poster for Space Shuttle. It does got damage at the top there and on the side. It's something I've never seen before. Box copy of Skater Die 2. I got a box copy of Skater Die, which I kind of wanted to have them boxed. Here's a game I didn't have, and I believe it's missing something inside it. But Captain America and the Avengers. Real clean copy. I will be putting that in a box protector. And then this one, oops, it fell out. It does not have the manual, but I've been looking for a box copy, and I'm never getting rid of my loose copy because my loose copy of this actually came from a grocery store, that little mom and pop grocery store, convenience store, whatever, that I used to go to as a kid, the Elk Run Grocery. But anyways, finding this one in the box was really nice. The box is in pretty decent shape. This one, the King of Kings, the early years, when you do this, it does, I gotta put styrofoam in it. It has the wrong version of the cartridge in here, which I didn't care because I had both cartridges already, but finding this box for what they were asking for it, and I already had the manual and the version that goes with this box, so it increased the value there, and I was happy about that. Like I said, I usually try when I go on vacations to find a handful of games and or sometimes even accessories. And that definitely makes it a little better at times. This year we're going back to the Dells. There's a game store up that way that I had seen before, that I thought about going back to and checking out while I'm up there. Definitely a nice little store. I'm going to show a couple of little things. I'm getting into the two big piles here that I have down here. But yeah, we'll get right into these ones real quick. And then, let's see here. Okay, one of the things I will show here, I did pay up a little bit for it. It came all the way from Michigan. As you can see here, it's an unopened case of Super Nintendo games. There's 6 games in there. It's a football game, but there's 2 box versions of this game. Without opening this, you won't know because they only put the sticker on the front of the box or printed it on there for Kmart. So they had a normal one, and then they had the one with the Kmart sticker on it. Same box, just Kmart logo put onto it. Never know what it is unless I cut the tape, but I've thought about sending this in to get graded to protect it so no one tries to cut it, because even though it's football, I still think it's worth grading. I don't think it's something that you see necessarily every day. Or nowadays anymore, because obviously these went to collectors' hands. I know a lot of collectors that have opened the boxes and just separated the stuff that way, which I thought was kind of odd to do, but to each their own. And then I ended up getting a couple Pong systems from a local guy. You got Super Pong IV. It's only got one side of the styrofoam, which I have another box version where that box is in a little rougher shape. That has the other piece of styrofoam, which I've tested these. This did work. And so did mine. So I'll keep the best one boxed and trade the other one off to my buddy's toy store, because I know he could always use inventory like that. And then the second one I got from the guy, which this one is fully complete, with all the inserts and that, is Sears Pong. They actually just finished tearing down my local Sears and stuff like that. Actual Sears power supply. There's other papers, booklets in here for other little things and that. Or maybe it's in the other box, but yeah, no, like finding this, I mean, the box is in really great shape for its age. I mean, you can still read the Sears logo. That dates it because the square around the logo. Sadly, Sears is no more. And we'll never see a Sears again, probably ever. With that being said, it is what it is there. And then the biggest one that I got, which I didn't realize how rare this thing was until I got it. Speedway. Sears Telegame Speedway. Obviously, this part of the box has been crushed. I don't know how to fix it. The box has staples on the bottom, but it's even got the Sears address there, from Cedar Rapids area. But anyways, so when I open this up, okay, mind you, this is how it looks. Okay, this knob's missing one of the things on it, and then when you pull it out here, it has this power cord, Atari power cord, wired to the motherboard, because right here in this slot right there, it would have had a power port there, and it's gone. And I want to try to figure out a way to fix the unsolder this, because when they soldered this in, they had to disconnect the battery tray in there, which there's nothing wrong with it. Definitely a little odd that they did it that way, the way that they did it. It is what it is, I suppose, there. Let me put this back in here real quick. And that, but I didn't realize when I had acquired this one how rare it was, which, if you all know me, I love finding these obscure Pong systems, even if the boxes are kind of damaged. It's just something you definitely don't see very often in their boxes anymore. Because there's so many of them out there. And I know a couple people that had a couple different Pong systems as kids, because obviously they didn't know back then, oh, this is basically the same game in theory, but in a different way. You know, it did some things a little different in that, which it happens. And then I got one sign to show you all that I recently acquired last year. This sign is pretty massive. So I believe this sign came from a Kmart store, if I recall. It is a very big PlayStation 2 sign. I can set it right there. Get out of light there, so you can see it. It is translucent, or however you want to say. It's sat in front of a light box. If you get the light to shine from this side just right, it actually makes the letters kind of look a little weird. And that, but I got this from a guy who got it from like an estate sale because he collected old signs. And this is one of the things that was there. Definitely very surprising. Definitely very surprising on that aspect. And then the other thing I got from the guy was, and I'll show it here. I'm going to try to speed up a little bit. I know I make my videos a little long. Micro Machine stuff. Obviously, a lot of this is not complete, in a way. Like, there's that. Obviously, some of the stuff, it just snaps into place here like this. This would go like so. And then if I can get this, yep, like that. And then like that's aircraft carrier. This one's a little garage. You'd flip this one. I already have this one. There would have been rubber hoses that hung down and stuff to do little things like that. You got the little mini play sets. Like this one should be a little outdoor little track. Like that. And then you got this one that's got a helipad on it. And then this one doesn't have anything in it, so I think this one's missing some stuff, or maybe it's laying in here yet. This one's got some de-stickers on it for my Micro Machines people. Here's a parking garage ramp that went with this one. I have been looking for more of these lately, it seems like, just because it's kind of different. And then here's this one that's got this little racetrack thing on it. And then I end up with like a few pieces of train track. I end up getting these bridge things. I believe this is the bridge. That one goes with this play set, like garage or whatever. It's fairly complete. It's missing some stuff, and it does suck that with this there's a missing lever. It's either up here or down here. And then there was actually, ironically, in this pile of stuff, a part for a transformer. And then obviously with this, here's like this little Micro Machine set. If I remember how to open this one. Okay, so it'd go like this. That one would flip open. This one would flip open. Well, I thought this had something that pulled out. But yeah, so that little service station one. Obviously, it isn't in the best of shape. Obviously, that sticker there is pretty far gone. Here's a tire thing to go with the one garage. You got this Micro Machines jet plane. This mini fighter jet. Another mini fighter jet. Or no, plane with the space shuttle on top. Normal plane. You got medical ambulance. And then you got like this race car Porsche or whatever. This is supposed to be like a Mustang Shelby GT. You got a little gold car here. And then you start getting over here. These ones. I'm trying to do these as quick as I can. Tanker truck. Another little Mustang. Another fighter jet. Military one. You got a water truck here. This is cookies or something like that, I guess, is a display. Here's an old little rat rod car. This one somebody started to paint. I'd love to try to strip the paint off it and see if I could bring out the original. Here's an old school World War I style bomber. Missing one of the wings for the propeller. Here's a little bulldozer. It's not the Killdozer, but you know, hey, it's still a bulldozer. Here's another little fighter jet. Yellow Ferrari. And then another old school little race car. Then you got this, obviously, this dump truck with stuff in it. Another little camel car. Another little military style bulldozer. Monster truck car. And then a little Indy car. Little tow truck. Another military vehicle. Orange one. Blue Indy car. Old school Ford. Another one looks like a Mustang or something. Lamborghini. An old school van. I believe another Mustang. Another gold car. Another Indy car. Like a Duesenberg or something like that, an old jalopy. Another Ferrari Lamborghini. An old school green Chevy Bel Air, it looks like. Pontiac GT. Looks like a Bronco on jacked up wheels, and this RX-7. Definitely need to find some of these. I need to really start downsizing some of my collections of the stuff that really doesn't matter as much. But yeah, so I'll set this box over there. Now I'll get into the two big boxes here. And that, with that being said, there's a couple other little things that I'll show in the next video. Obviously, they won't be tied to that video any, but it is what it is there. You set them in that box. And that obviously the next video is going to be pickups from like estate sales and that I've been doing. With everything that's been going on with family and stuff like that, it's been, like I said, I want to do the videos every time I go to do it. Something always seems to come up. But anyways, I went down to my buddy's toy shop the one day, twice in a week. This is from the second day. I bought this from a guy. I went up there to see Cool World. It is not complete. Obviously no manual, but it is in this case, and I like the case because he's like, the games didn't fall out, and he was going through some hard times. That's why he let it go. Then at my buddy's toy shop, I got this out of the back room basically. These hadn't made it to the floor. WrestleMania 2000 box. Box is a little beat up. It does have the manual. Like I said, I needed it. This Superman box is shrink wrapped. It's pretty minty, but there's no manuals in it from what I can tell. There's no game obviously, and I didn't have the game, but to get the box for it in that good a shape was worth it. Here's a box and manual for Rainbow Six. Obviously the box is really bad. I'm going to see if I can't do something to try to fix it. And the one thing I was happy my buddy sold me from there, I've been after one of these to complete a box system forever. In Fire Orange 64 controller. And the stick is really nice. This thing is in great shape. I actually pulled this off of the shelf in the back room. And he's known for the last couple of years I've been looking for one. And yet he ends up with one at his shop and then he magically forgets, like, oh hey, Joe, I got this here for you. And then when you go here, part of this was a trade. No, not a trade. Some trade from his store, some cash, and I bought a big collection off a guy. I got these sealed PS2 controllers for The Simpsons from my buddy's toy store. You got that one, which was Homer. You got Bart Simpson. I believe they made I know they made a Lisa one that was in pink. And then I ended up picking up a copy of the Blues Brothers at my buddy's toy store. It is missing the manual, which I found one for it. He ordered the manual for this one, and I got it for a little bit less than what he was asking, but Snow Brothers on the NES. And then I ended up getting Crash and the Boys Street Challenge on the NES. The cover of that one looked pretty nice. I ended up getting this one is just the cartridge, but Swordmaster, he actually had it in that. Really nice shape overall. I didn't get why he had it in this blue case. Maybe that's how he got it. A box copy of Double Dragons 2, which I believe this was missing the manual. And I have the manual. But it had all the other paperwork with it, as you can see. There might be one or two other games in this pile that I got from his store, like this one I got from his store, Challenge Dragon. I believe the rest of these all came from this one guy. I got Castlevania manual. I got Desert Commander, Dungeon Magic, Gauntlet 2, King's Quest V, Astyanax, and last but not least, Castle of Dragons. And then I ended up getting a couple boxed games off him as well. The guy that I got this from, a boxed copy, CIB Immortal, Indiana Jones The Last Crusade, which he put these in box protectors. This one is not complete, but yet I don't know why these people cut up these cases the way they do. But he got a home brewed case that he cut all the internal stuff out that holds the games in, so he could put this game in this sleeve. I did not have this Dragon Warrior. This was the last one I needed out of that series. And then I ended up getting these two games off him boxed. Get back up there, Snoopy. But Wizardry Master Series, and then I got Ghost Lion, and then the rest of these are all going to be loose games, and that I needed. So we'll show these off here. Obviously we got King's Quest V, Magician, Robin Hood, Rygar, which I had one years ago and then I let it go. Or maybe I still got it. That might be a 5-screw one that I got. But then I got Times of Lore, the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, and then I got, this one was Might and Magic, and then you got here Wizardry, and that, so that's that little stack. And then we're getting into the big long stack here in this box. We'll go with these ones first. Isolated Warrior, which I believe I got that from my buddy's toy store because of that sticker. Ultima Quest for the Avatar. A really bad 3-screw copy of Trojan. I have a 5-screw version. And then Ultima Warriors of Destiny. And then we'll go here. We have Battle Chess, Astyanax, then we got Lolo 3, Dungeons and Dragons, Dragon Strike, Dungeons and Dragons, Pool of Lance, and last but not least in this little stack, Dungeons and Dragons, Hilcifer. And then as we go to the last few games in this box here, we got Castlevania, Castle of Dragons, Desert Commander, Dragon Warrior 3, obviously I needed, and then the last bit that's in this stack here, if I can grab it, would be, you got Gauntlet, the gray cartridge, Gauntlet 2, gray cartridge, G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. And then you got Ferrara. And then Dungeon Magic. And that. So, yeah, so with this being said, that's all I got to show off for this video. We're already at over a minute, if I'm correct. An hour 15. So, with that being said, yeah, I hope everybody's doing well under the circumstances. I hope everyone's having good luck finding stuff for their collections and hobbies and all that. Because obviously we all deserve to find some cool stuff, kind of like this, and enjoy it. It's definitely a good thing. I mean, to have hobbies, obviously, because you end up with some cool stuff like this. All this will start being cataloged into the collection this week. I go on vacation again soon. Sooner than we normally do with everything that's been going on. And that. So, I mean, other than that, yeah, like I said, I'm holding it together the best I can. Things have been tough. My mental health has been all over the place, which that's okay. I mean, it happens. But I still keep trying to find little things to make me smile, and I try to find things to help out my buddy on his race car. Different friends, if they're looking for things, I try to find things for them and stuff like that. It keeps me busy, keeps my mind a little sharp, and all that. But with that being said, there's more stuff to come here soon. Like I said, it's hard to say that, with that being said, it's hard to say what the next chapter's going to hold for me and whatnot. I mean, it's definitely been a long road coming. Trying to get more of the original Nintendo games I've been looking for. I want to get a complete North American collection. There's a couple stores I've heard of that's got a couple heavy hitters, like Bubble Bath Babies, Action 54, I think it is, or whatever it is. Like Chester Cheetah, that might actually be Super Nintendo. Cheetah Man, that's what I'm thinking of. They got a couple big heavy hitters. They even got 2 little Samson copies, one in the box, one loose, and I can't afford a box copy of that, let alone barely afford a loose copy. But with that being said, and everything like that, as always, have fun collecting. I hope you all enjoyed this somewhat longer video. I tried to keep it as simple as could be. But yeah, so just remember, live long and prosper, my friends. Live long and prosper. And keep it up. If you're watching this and you're struggling, you're not alone. Just keep it up. Stay positive. You know, you made it this far. You're going to keep on going and doing great things. I just know it, people. Alright, this has been another episode of Look What I Got for My Collection. Yeah. But thanks again for watching, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed.